Chapter 560. Xian Yuanping is wearing a white Taoist robe and pink satin shoes. She is surrounded by several beautiful nuns with a black lotus in her hand. The white silk headband on her head is blown by the wind. At first glance, she looks like a Taoist master. When she sees Lin Luoran clearly, the smile on her face spreads. Her dignified and holy face suddenly becomes charming and lively, overshadowing the beautiful nuns. School brethren. Xian Yuanping smiles, and so does Lin Luoran, and Mu Tiannin can't help but laugh. Xian Yuanping laughs at Anne's good plan. He tricked Lin Luoran here to catch a turtle in a jar. Anne's smile is very meaningful. After knowing everything, he can use cultivators as chess pieces to play a game he has designed for many years. Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannin are laughing. They are laughing at Xian Yuanping for not knowing that she is about to die. If what An said before is false, they are in the level of gathering vitality. Even if several gathering vitality female cultivators from Prophet God School want to fight with her and Mu Tiannan, they still can't win. Some qualitative changes can't be compared by the accumulation of quantity. For example, a training Qi cultivator can't fight with a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. If everything An said is true, Xian Yuanping will die today because of her own arrogance. Old Taoist Huizhu raised An and taught him cultivation. An's help to old Taoist Huizhu and his friendship with his dead schoolmates are very heavy. How can a little oath of devil inside make him give up fighting Xian Yuanping? How can it be? An just needs to give her a little push. He doesn't need to do it himself. Xian Yuanping, you and I are probably enemies in the previous life. You don't want to let me go. I have been waiting for this battle for hundreds of years. Let's settle the score while it's still early. Lin Luoran leaves her back to Mu Tiannan. With him here, Lin Luoran feels very safe. Lin Luoran says word by word slowly. Xian Yuanping laughs. Lin Luoran, do you know what I hate most about you? Breaking your wrist, destroying your lotus, and purifying the hostility in the blood pool are not as disgusting as your hypocritical preaching. Lin Luoran looks at her calmly. She is not angry at all. He had understood a long time ago that no matter how well you did, don't expect everyone to like you. Lin Luoran doesn't care whether she is sincere or hypocritical. She betrayed her master, tortured and killed cultivators, killed her father and killed her fellow disciples. Lin Luoran doesn't care how she thinks of her. Xian Yuanping has tried to kill her several times. Lin Luoran doesn't want to let her go. She gave face to others, but who would give her face? Xian Yuanping waves her sleeve, and nearly 100 magic figures with abundant reiki shoot out from her sleeve. Several disciples dressed as nuns move and surround Lin Luoran. They work together to activate the figure circle. 81 figures make up a magic circle. It seems that old Taoist Huizhu taught Xian Yuanping all about figure paper. Even with the help of others, it must be a delicate spell to control 81 figures at the same time. The power of the magic circle lies in the doubling of power. Xian Yuanping's move is amazing. With her personal ability in the early stage of gathering vitality, it is easy for her to trap a cultivator in the middle stage of gathering vitality. If the opponent is careless, the figure circle may be able to stall a cultivator in the late stage of gathering vitality for a while. It is a pity that Lin Luoran is not a cultivator in the late stage of gathering vitality. She is in the divinization period before passing the doom. And may know it, but Xian Yuanping definitely doesn't. Otherwise the evil woman would not be so arrogant. Seeing that Xian Yuanping controls the figure circle with a black lotus, Lin Luoran is afraid that Xian Yuanping has other tricks. She will not let Xian Yuanping finish the figure circle. Using her finger as a pen, Shaoan was about to write the word fire, to settle the matter once and for all. Sensing the change in the surroundings, Shaoan hurriedly shouted, "Senior Sister Lin, those juniors are from the Qingqing sect. Please show mercy." The whole Qingqing Taoist temple was slaughtered. Xian Yuanping got the most complete inheritance of magic figures. She has also trained a group of disciples in recent years, and has joined Prophet God School, so he has to leave some inheritance for Qingqing Taoist temple. Well, you call me school sister, but I can't really destroy this temple. Xian Yuanping, let's change places, shall we? Xian Yuanping sneers. The figure circle has been stabilized. It is impossible for Lin Luoran to change places. And hasn't taken action yet. Is he afraid of the mistress of the Mu family? As soon as Lin Luoran finishes her words, the gesture of the pen has changed. The golden figure flashes. When the word wind is finished, rootless wind comes. The strength of the breeze is just enough to shake the osmanthus tree. However, when it touches people, it sticks like super glue. The tearing force is irresistible. The nuns who cooperate in controlling the figure circle can't make steady spells and fly out. The breeze firmly sticks to the black lotus in Xian Yuanping's hand. She is shocked. The function of the figure circle is to cut off the connection between people in the circle and the Reiki of heaven and earth. It also isolates spells and arts of nature to prevent the enemy from counterattacking from the outside. However, Lin Luoran casually attracts the wind. What kind of sorcery is it? While Xian Yuanping is fighting against the wind, Lin Luoran points at several figures. As long as it is a magic circle, there is a gate of life. Lin Luoran has the star atlas in her hand. Xian Yuanping shouldn't try to trap her with the magic circle. Qingqing Taoist Temple is good at drawing figures, but doesn't have a deep understanding of the magic circle. Even Lin Luoran can break the circle, let alone a real magic circle master. 81 pieces of figure paper rotate at high speed and exchange positions. Lin Luoran tries several times. Finally, when she points at a figure, it slows down. That's it. As soon as the gate of life appears, Lin Luoran burns the figure paper with true fire on her fingertips. Xian Yuanping takes a step back and blood comes out of her mouth. The magic circle has been broken. Lin Luoran destroys her figure paper and flies out of Qingqing Taoist Temple. She comes to the open area of the island. Xian Yuanping hesitates for a moment. She stares at An and flies after Lin Luoran. Only An and Mu Tiannan are left there. An is in a good mood. He takes the initiative to chat with Mu Tiannan. School brother Mu, don't you want to go and have a look? There is nothing to see. She will win. Mu Tiannan and An don't have anything in common. The two of them always stay together in awkward silence. After a while, An suddenly lowers his voice. In fact, I can't approve school sister Lin's fate. Jixio can't see Lin Luoran's future. And neither can An wherever his sight goes. It is the vast white snow field. It is freezing cold. It seems to be a warning to those who try to spy on Lin Luoran's fate. Mu Tiannan finally looks at An. He clenches his right fist and his knuckles crackle. How dare you lie to her? Shaoan smiles again. I'm talking about your life, senior martial brother Mu. More than 400 years ago, you gave up the transmission of the Tower of Babel. Everyone knew that you were waiting for school sister Lin. Since you broke the world and appeared in the Tiankui star, school sister Lin must be there. An's tone is a little sly. For a moment he seems to have a bit of his old voice. Seeing that Mu Tiannan is shocked, and thinks for a while and says, people often say that everything is predestined. School brother Mu, you were going to have no wife or children when you were 80 years old. With your own efforts, your fate has changed several times. It is incredible that you have come this far. In general, you are going against the wind. After suffering, you will have good luck. An's words make Mu Tiannan's clenched fist slowly loosen. He was going to have no wife or children when he was 80 years old. Now he still has no wife or children, but he has enough life to pursue what he wants. An's evaluation of Wen Guanjing is also good luck. He believes that he really has good luck. If he is going against the wind, he will fight for it himself even if his fate is not good. Xian Yuanping soon realizes that she has underestimated Lin Luoran's strength. Of course, she still doesn't understand that her biggest mistake is to force a kind little Taoist to be evil and twisted. Especially after this little Taoist becomes the future master of Prophet God School. He uses people's fate as a chess piece and sticks to black and white. He forces some accidental events to converge at the same time, and plays step by step. He doesn't need to do anything deliberately. How can a little cultivator have the ability to reverse the fate that has been determined? If everyone acts like Mu Tiannan, and can break free from the predetermined fate on their own, the Tao of Heaven will explode long ago. Xian Yuanping will definitely die today. For this day, and has deduced for a long time and spent a lot of energy to change the fate of some seemingly irrelevant people. A butterfly flaps its wings, but it can't affect the course of events. However, thousands of butterflies flapping their wings are enough to deceive the Tao of Heaven, and form the power to change the fate of cultivators. Several naive gathering vitality female cultivators of Prophet God School are watching the battle not far away. They talk from time to time, which makes Xian Yuanping more and more angry. When people are angry, they are easy to be impulsive and even do things that they will regret later. Under Lin Luoran's humiliation like playing a mouse, Xian Yuanping's black lotus leaves her hand. The black lotus floats in the air. Without lotus seeds, the gray mist emitted from the lotus pods instantly covers most of the island. Several female cultivators of Prophet God School shout and control magic weapons to protect themselves. The grass and trees on the island are infected by the gray mist and immediately wither at a speed visible to the naked eye. In a few minutes, most of the island, which is spring all year round, has become scorched like the earth after the catastrophe. Lin Luoran's meta keeps the gray mist out of her body. What the Black Lotus releases is actually the refined death energy. This thing can make the earth scorched, which shows how powerful it is. Lin Luoran remembers that Xian Yuanping collected evil spirits on the battlefield of Inua country. Has Xian Yuanping really mastered the devil art? Wherever the gray mist goes, even the spiritual mind can't work. Except for the scolding of Prophet God School female cultivators, there is no trace of Xian Yuanping. Generally, when the death energy enters and exits the mortal body, the refined death energy can even pollute the body of cultivators. Lin Luoran flies up, and the gray mist follows her like a shadow. It has locked on her. Lin Luoran snorts. She wants to see what Xian Yuanping can do. Lin Luoran makes a gesture with her fingers, and a big green bough appears in front of her. One lives and one dies. Let's see if the pure wood meta can overwhelm the death energy that Xian Yuanping has refined. Lin Luoran holds the bough with her left hand and puts her right hand on the string to pull the bough. A green arrow condenses. Feeling the vitality contained in the arrow, the aggressive death energy is both excited and scared. The black wind is whistling. Lin Luoran is much higher than Xian Yuanping, and the Black Lotus has been seriously injured by Lin Luoran. The spirit creature is also scared. The death energy surges. The voices of several female cultivators of Prophet God School come from all directions. It seems that they want to stop Lin Luoran from shooting the arrow. Ordinary gathering vitality cultivators can't take a full blow from her. If the female cultivators are shot, she will become a mortal enemy of Prophet God School. After a long stalemate, Lin Luoran seems to have no choice but to give up because she can't tell the specific location of the female cultivators of Prophet God School. The green arrow disperses, and a dark lotus silently pierces Lin Luoran's chest. It minces her internal organs first, and then countless black threads entangle Lin Luoran's fallen body, wrapping her gathering vitality in her pubic region. Lin Luoran is dead. Xian Yuanping's heart jumps. There is no response from her gathering vitality, and there is no movement from her primordial spirit. Oh no, she has been tricked. Lin Luoran smiles and appears behind Xian Yuanping with the big green bow in her hand. She releases the bowstring with her right hand, and the arrow of life breaks through the death energy. Xian Yuanping can't dodge in such a short distance, and the green arrow pierces her chest in the same way. Xian Yuanping falls down unwillingly. What is wrapped by the black lotus in her hand is clearly a small peachwood card. Every gathering vitality cultivator has one or two trump cards to save their lives. Although the art of substitution is not profound, it can be cast with personal items nourished by the primordial spirit. At a critical moment, it can really play a life-saving role. Lin Luoran is distracted for a moment, because she thinks of the wood wolf who taught her this art of art. The black light bursts, and it disappears into the gray fog that has not yet dissipated. After all, Lin Luoran lacks actual combat experience to deal with a gathering vitality cultivator. Xian Yuanping's primordial spirit attaches to her gathering vitality and escapes with the death energy. Lin Luoran draws the bow and shoots again, shaking away the ownerless death energy. The green arrow chases after her. Xi and Yuanping's gathering vitality has already escaped to the sea, leaving a light spot in Lin Luoran's field of vision. Lin Luoran is about to chase after Xi and Yuanping herself. However, a white snake monster of the water suddenly jumps out of the calm sea. It swallows Xi and Yuanping's gathering vitality in one bite and chews twice. It separates the gathering vitality from the primordial spirit by some unknown means. The gathering vitality in the form of pure energy goes into its stomach, and the primordial spirit spits out. It happens to hit the arrow coming from behind. The extremely fragile primordial spirit, after being separated from the flesh, only has time to let out a short scream. Then it is shattered by the arrow and dissipates in the sun. Lin Luoran is stunned. The snake monster of the water seems to be arranged there in advance. Its actions of swallowing the gathering vitality and spitting out the primordial spirit are so quick. She suddenly remembers that and casually said, she will die sooner or later. What an accurate judgment. While she is still marveling at the magic of Prophet God School, An and Mu Tianan have come together. Several female cultivators of Prophet God School surround An and complain that the island is destroyed by the death energy, and coaxes them gently, and they are willing to clean up the mess. Xi and Yuanping's gathering vitality was swallowed by the snake monster of the water. An's judgment is really accurate. An turns his head and nods. He wants Xi and Yuanping to die. He has hated her for so many years. Now that she is really dead, he feels so lost. All the people of Qingqing Taoist Temple are dead. The only descendant of the Abbey Dean is also dead. Hearing the praise of school sister Lin, who he used to look up to, and doesn't feel very happy. It seems that 400 years ago, when the Qingqing Taoist Temple was slaughtered because of his talent, the Abbey Dean held his hand and forced him to make the oath of devil inside. After that, An is already dead. The one who is still alive is the first apprentice of Prophet God School. The Abbey Dean and his peers, including school sister Xian, are all dead. Finally, An is alone on the road of pursuing the Tao. What kind of fate is this? Lin Luoran notices that An is not right. She calls An several times. The familiar name finally awakens An, and thinks about Lin Luoran's question. Of course, the monster of the water is not arranged by him. The snake monster of the water is wandering near the island. It used to be a pair of male and female. More than 100 years ago, school sister Xian lost her chi while practicing the devil skill. She extracted the soul of one of the water snakes to nourish her primordial spirit. Now she eats and pecks. It is very fair. Extracting the soul? No wonder the snake monster of the water only swallows the gathering vitality and spits out Xi and Yuanping's primordial spirit. Those who commit too much evil will bring about their own destruction. The evil woman Xian can be considered to be in a bad mood. Lin Luoran's mind is not as complicated as An. She is about to ask, but An makes a shushing gesture. It is very laborious to deduce cultivators. I can only tell you that someone will help you before you leave the Lanhu Star. School sister Lin, after the Tower of Babel, the Taoist root of single 5 elements can sense each other. I know that the other 3 are still alive without deduction. You can rest assured. And says so. Lin Luoran can't force him to deduce by force. Mu Tianan knows that An can't deduce Lin Luoran's fate, so his attitude is not bad. The Prophet God School has to clean up the mess. Lin Luoran and Mu Tianan say goodbye, and doesn't ask them to stay. He just says with a smile, "School sister Lin, remember to see me." The young master of Prophet God School may also have the same surname An, but he is not the young master, and Lin Luoran knows. Sometimes when they meet, she only feels sad. Lin Luoran finally nods and agrees. When Lin Luoran and Mu Tianan fly away, several girls of Prophet God School gather around them. A female cultivator with a purple skirt says with a smile, "School brother, is she the school sister you said was very strong on the earth?" And nods. Another round-faced female cultivator mutters, "She doesn't look powerful." Girls from big schools don't know their limits. How powerful can an individual cultivator from an abandoned planet be? School brother, with such qualifications, has practiced hard for hundreds of years after coming to Prophet God School, and rubs her hair. School sister Lin is very powerful. She doesn't want to go through doom. She doesn't even dare to come to Heaven's Doom. The round-faced female cultivator sticks out her tongue. Really? Is she more powerful than Grandmaster? Don't talk about Grandmaster. Be careful, or you'll be locked in a small dark room. And flicks her forehead. The girl in the purple skirt is confused. School Sister Lin is such a powerful person. Why don't you help her achieve her wish and make a good karma for the school? The girl's questions make him feel that most of the coldness around him is dispelled. Fortune tellers in the mortal world have to tell half of the truth, even when they see through fortune. People like to hear good words. School Sister Lin has a good karma. Someone will come out to help her. Those who have been helped by her don't return the favor. It's always a cause and effect. Why should I stand in the way of others? Because of the special nature of the school, they are only responsible for deduction. They don't want to get involved in too many causes. Sooner or later, they will be dragged down by the karma, and their deduction ability will be destroyed. Wooden says is the tenet that Prophet God School has always respected. The girls have no objection. They discuss what to add on the island and change the topic. The setting sun shines on the undulating sea, and picks up the black lotus that Xian Yuanping didn't put down. He remembers that he stabbed Lin Luoran in the back when he was in the Dongting Dragon Palace. Later he failed. Under the witness of the crazy Taoist, the Abbey Dean had to give him up and take school sister Xian away. At that time he didn't understand what an expedient plan was. He thought that he was really kicked out of the school and didn't know where to go. School Sister Lin let bygones be bygones and recommended him to the special department of Wuxia. He has been in the world of cultivation for hundreds of years, but he has never met anyone like School Sister Lin. It's hard for a good person to survive in a dog-eat-dog world, but it doesn't prevent us from liking people with good qualities. The starry sky is particularly bright that night. Observing the stars, and forcibly changes the fate of a cultivator with the help of the star power. Because Lin Luoran, a variable that even Prophet God School can't deduce, is involved in it, and is just a small cultivator who passes by her. However, after completing the secret spell, his face turns pale, and he spits out a pool of black blood. The crescent scar at the end of his eyebrows hurts faintly. If the schoolmaster knows about it, he will definitely scold him again. Time has changed too many things. It's better to reminisce than to see each other. This is also the last thing he can do for School Sister Lin, who many people look up to. An eye for an eye. From now on, we don't owe each other anything. The market of the Lanhu Star is close to the interstellar transmission circle. Lin Luoran and Mu Tianen walk all the way here, but they don't see the helper mentioned. After waiting in the market for a few days, Lin Luoran doesn't want to stay here anymore. She and Mu Tianen agree to leave the Lanhu Star and continue to travel west. Passing by the restaurant they went to before, Lin Luoran doesn't see Zhu Qi, who has a stall. Lin Luoran doesn't know why she inexplicably thinks of a stranger she met once. She subconsciously looks around the corner where Zhu Qi used to set up his stall. She doesn't see Zhu Qi, who sells figures, but there is a dirty man lying on the ground with his face half dead. His whole body stinks. Isn't the figure a little familiar? Hearing this, Mu Tianen takes 2 steps forward and turns over the man lying under the tree. His face is covered with blood. Who else can it be but Zhu Qi? After more than a month, this person is so embarrassed. Mu Tianen has a good impression of him. He takes an elixir and throws it into Zhu Qi's mouth. After half an hour, Zhu Qi barely opens his eyes. Seeing the person in front of him, Zhu Qi seems to be a little excited. He tries his best to take out a jade map hidden in his hair bun, and hands it to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to explore it. The information inside makes her overjoyed. Handing the jade map to Mu Tianen, Lin Luoran feels that she is almost brainwashed by Anne's words, an eye for an eye. If they don't save Zhu Qi, they won't get this information. She doesn't know that Zhu Qi's original fate is to accidentally get a windfall from Mu Tianen. After being stared at for more than a month, he is seriously injured and falls into a coma. He misses Lin and Mu Tianen, who are about to leave the Lanhu Star. Of course, he has no chance to give the jade map to Lin Luoran. Chapter 561. The jade map that Zhu Qi accidentally got is a message from Sword School. The content is not circulated in the Lanhu Star. Everyone has his own ways. Although Zhu Qi is an individual cultivator, he has been in the market for decades. He has his own ways. The message in the jade map is copied by him from a special channel. One Guanjing goes to the Tiankue Star with people of Sword School but fails. The Prophet God School has released the news earlier. Many forces are paying attention to Lin Luoran. No matter how powerful Sword School is, it can't fight against hundreds. It is not good to find Lin Luoran in a big way, so they have to do it in public. Lin Luoran has always regarded Wen Guanjing as her friend. Mu Tiannan feels jealous when he sees the vivid portrait of Linny in the jade map pupil. In the rest of the journey, Mu Tiannan feels awkward even though he is old. Even Lin Luoran, who is not sensitive to certain things, notices Mu Tiannan's strangeness. Sword School is located in the Wuxia Star, which has the most abundant Reiki in the world of cultivation. There is a saying in the world of cultivation that there are 1 school, 2 schools and 3 schools. As the most desirable cultivation star, there are only 6 schools on the vast and boundless fertile land for cultivation. Sword School and Prophet God School are both included in the 3 schools. There are thousands of schools in the world of cultivation, but only these 6 can be called first-class schools. They can occupy the most perfect Wuxia star in the Sea of Stars. After seeing the message, Lin Luoran quickly contacts people of Sword School after leaving the Lanhu Star. However, when Guanjing has returned to Sword School, Lin Luoran doesn't want to bother him anymore, so she goes to the Wuxia Star with Mu Tiannan. Along the way, Lin Luoran feels homesick. She has learned from the cultivator of Sword School that Wen Guanjing knows the whereabouts of the Lin family. However, the Lin family has 2 cultivators with single Taoist root. The single Taoist root of the 5 elements caused a commotion in the past. If the message is leaked, it will be bad. Therefore, Wen Guanjing insists on telling it in person. Mu Tiannan is annoyed in his heart. Telling it in person? Isn't he up to something? The Wuxia Star is basically in a semi-closed state. It is easy to come out but difficult to enter. Except for the disciples of the 6 schools, other cultivators living on the Wuxia Star are all individual cultivators from this star. All kinds of strict rules are to ensure that the cultivation resources of Wuxia Star will not be overexploited. Therefore, when Lin Luoran steps out of the transmission circle, she is not surprised at all when she feels abundant Reiki. Outside the teleportation circle, there are people checking their identities. The cultivators of the Sword School show their certificates, and then Lin and Mu are allowed to move freely. Lin Luoran is about to know the whereabouts of her family, so she doesn't care about anything. Mu Tiannan has never been treated like this on the earth for hundreds of years. However, he is not arrogant enough to challenge the rules of the 6 schools. He just follows the old rules. Before he reached Sword Sect, he saw dozens of rays of white light charging at him from the distance. The long halos made him look like he was watching a meteor shower in broad daylight. The leader lands in front of Lin Luoran. His robe is fluttering in the wind. His cuffs are embroidered with delicate flame patterns. Hundreds of years have passed, but Wen Guanjing's appearance hasn't changed much. However, as the sect master of a large sect, the lines at the corners of his eyes and the tips of his eyebrows were slightly stiff, giving his originally somewhat ordinary appearance an unforgettable quality. Brother One. Lin Luoran's eyes turn red. Xian Yuanping and Zhixiu are mortal enemies. Zhixiu doesn't know each other very well, and his impression of him is too complicated. Only when he sees Wen Guanjing, Lin Luoran feels like reuniting with an old friend. Because of Zhou Yaowei, Xian Yuanping's apprentice, Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing got to know each other in the back alley of the Bluebird Club in the capital. They have been to Bermuda and the underground world of the desert together. Lin Luoran can't help showing her true feelings. Wen Guanjing doesn't even think about hiding his excitement. Hearing Lin Luoran calling him, he ignores Brother Mu, who is releasing frost beside him, and goes forward to hug Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran smiles and punches him on the shoulder. Wen Guanjing's eyes are soft. I knew that you are still alive and that you will find us. Brother Mu is completely ignored. He is swimming in the old pickled cabbage jar for hundreds of years. However, Wen Guanjing is very generous. He lets go of Lin Luoran and greets him naturally. Master Mu must be very happy to see you. Mu Tiannan has no time to care about the sour smell all over his body. He says with a relaxed face. You even know where Grandpa Mu is? Wen Guanjing nods. This is not a good place to talk. Let's go back first. Lin Luoran wipes the tears from her eyes and nods. The three of them are surrounded by several cultivators and fly to the gate of Sword School. In front of them, there are several towering mountains with exotic flowers and plants all over them. A cold current flows around the foot of the mountains. At the foot of the mountains, there is a tall jade tablet. There are only 2 concise words Sword School on it. The handwriting is amazing. Looking from a distance, it seems that the jade tablet will be activated at any time. After passing through the inhibition of the gate, the scenery in front of them changes greatly. The Sword School is surrounded by the 4 highest mountains in the middle. An inverted triangular platform is floating between the 4 mountains. Looking from a distance, they can see many houses on the platform. White and elegant cranes and spirit birds are flying around the mountains. Along the way, cultivators flying on swords will stop and salute when they see Wen Guanjing. This is Master Lin and Master Mu. Wen Guanjing changes his usual iron-fisted style and introduces Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan to the disciples of the Sword School. Before Lin Luoran arrives at the inverted triangular main peak, the existence of Mu Tiannan and Lin Luoran has been known to every corner of the Sword School. When they arrive at the floating peak, all the cultivators of the Sword School leave. Wen Guanjing only takes Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan to the disciples of the Sword School. This must be the residence of the schoolmaster. The architectural style and the area are similar to the old Tang dynasty. It must have been rebuilt by the cultivators of Zhu Mountain more than 1,000 years ago. Brother Wen is so imposing now. Seeing that there is no one else in the big palace, Lin Luoran teases Wen Guanjing with a smile. Wen Guanjing shakes his head and scolds. Do you think I want to? The schoolmaster has an imposing manner. He lives alone on the floating peak and doesn't even have a servant. There must be another reason. The main palace is gorgeous. Wen Guanjing walks in a hurry. It is obvious that he has no intention of showing Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan around carefully. They turn to a remote courtyard. The main palace is marked with the word moon chasing. Although it is clean because of the magic circle, the careless flowers and plants in the courtyard show that few people come here. What's the reason? Lin Luoran thinks that there must be a reason why Wen Guanjing brings them to such a dilapidated courtyard. Wen Guanjing smiles but says nothing. The inhibition of the Sword School is quite unpredictable. When he waves his long sleeves to remove the camouflage, Lin Luoran finds that they are in a small interstellar transmission circle. It is said that there is only one interstellar transmission circle on Wuxia star. Lin Luoran murmurs. Wen Guanjing nods. That's why we have to be more discreet. Sister Lin, only the former school masters know about the existence of this circle. It is a way of retreat left by our ancestors. It is a directional transmission circle with only one coordinate. It leads to an asteroid hidden behind the whirlpool of interstellar gravel. It is a little difficult, but it is actually very good. Now, do you understand what I mean? Only the former school masters of the Sword School know about the secret transmission circle. The only coordinate is the asteroid hidden behind the whirlpool of interstellar gravel. How can Wen Guanjing not know about it now? Then let's go. Wen Guanjing's tone is full of encouragement. Mu Tiannan feels that he can't be too stingy, so he bumps fists with Wen Guanjing. Men never need to express their gratitude in words. Seeing Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan disappearing in the transmission circle, Lin Luoran's worry that has been pressing on her heart suddenly feels relieved. The reeds are green, and the white dew is like frost. The so-called beauty is on the other side of the water. Wen Guanjing sighs when he thinks of this sentence in the Book of Songs. Lin Luoran is so excellent that many young people in the world of cultivation in Wuxia secretly fell in love with her. Wen Guanjing knows that he only had a good impression of her at that time. However, Taoist Zhang's disciple is as obsessed with her as Mu Tiannan. In the past, Wen Guanjing thought that Lu Zheng and Lin Luoran would be together naturally. However, fate makes fools of them. In the end, Mu Tiannan, who has no Taoist root, overcomes all obstacles and gradually becomes qualified to stand side by side with Lin Luoran. When Guanjing has to admit that Mu Tiannan is willful and impulsive, but he has a stubborn and lovely sincerity. Power, cultivation, magic weapons and luxurious clothes are all blasphemy to him. Only sincerity can convince everyone, including Wen Guanjing. At the other end of the transmission circle, there is a small town. There is a settlement between green mountains and blue waters. In the distance, there is the sound of cultivators and monsters fighting. However, people walking on the street are obviously used to it and don't hear it. Most of the houses in the town are two-story wooden buildings. The ground floor facing the street can be used as a shop to sell clothes, food and daily necessities. From time to time, people come back from the outside and some go out. Among the people, half of them are cultivators and half of them are mortals. They are not dressed luxuriously, and they look happy. It can be seen that they are living a good life. The conditions on this star are not as hard as when Guanjing said. The houses are scattered and orderly. Judging from the scale, there should be thousands of people living in the town. Why are you two immortals in Taoyuan town? An old man with a white beard sees that Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan are strangers. He asks them politely. Lin Luoran sees that he has no personal ability. He is dressed in linen clothes, but his back is very straight. As a mortal, he is not timid in front of cultivators. Lin Luoran has a good impression of the people here. Sir, you said that this is Taoyuan town. Is there any family with the surname Lin or Mu? The old man immediately becomes alert. I am old and my memory is not good. Immortal master, you can ask others. After saying this, he turns around and leaves. This old man is so bold. He dares to lie in front of us. Mu Tiannan laughs. Lin Luoran winks at him, and the two of them follow Gabu unhurriedly. Seeing that Gabu pretends to wander around, he walks all the way to a small alley and knocks on the door. Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan can't help laughing. Granduncle Lin, there are two strange immortals in our town. They are sneaky and I can tell that they are not good people. Old Gabu pulled open the half-closed door and squeezed in, shouting in a loud voice. Qin Xiaojiu, you are talking nonsense again. How can there be strange cultivators in Taoyuan town? Are they sent by schoolmaster one? Granduncle Lin's voice floats through the wall. Lin Luoran's vision is blurred. As soon as she hears the voice, tears roll down her cheeks. She is sobbing. Granduncle Lin, who is inside the wall, can't stand being pestered by Gabu, who is called Qin Xiaojiu. He opens the door and sees a girl crying so hard that she can't stand up straight. Granduncle Lin with wrinkles at the corners of his eyes and gray hair. He finds it strange that the young man standing in front of his house looks like the third son of the Mu family. The crying girl makes his heart twist. He can't help but rub his eyes, suspecting that he is dreaming again in broad daylight. I'm really old. Qin Xiaojiu rushes out with vigorous steps. Granduncle Lin, they are following me. I am so angry. Hearing this, Granduncle Lin is shocked. He looks up with trembling shoulders. The girl who looks like his daughter is crying and squatting on the ground. Mu Tiannan calls him uncle with red eyes. The old Mr. Lin reluctantly agrees. He squats down regardless of Qin Xiaojiu's support, and reaches out to touch Lin Luoran's hair. His right hand stops in the air and trembles violently. He is afraid. He is afraid that he will have a nightmare in the daytime. How many times did he wake up in the middle of the night with tears soaking his pillow? In his dreams, he put the little girl on his shoulder and rode on a big horse, making the little girl giggle and repeatedly call out, "Daddy, Daddy." Her voice was clearer than the orioles in the forest. The little girl on the horse grows up soon. She is capable and has ideas. She can go anywhere. One day, she says that she is going to find the spirit mountain overseas and never comes back. The Earthlings want to go to the universe, but she doesn't come back. Suddenly, aliens invade the Earth. The mountains and rivers in the center of Chuan are all destroyed, but she never comes back. Some people say that the bold girl of the Lin family died in the spirit mountain overseas, and will never come back, but he never believes it. As the days go by, he still doesn't see his daughter. He finally begins to worry. His daughter is very capable, but they are too far away from the Earth. Can the girl find her way home? He has thought that when Lin Luoran comes back, he will beat her hard. However, when the scene he has been looking forward to for hundreds of years comes true, Mr. Lin finally squats down and holds Lin Luoran, who is sobbing, in her arms. If he holds her tightly, he will hurt her. If he holds her too tightly, he is afraid that the daughter in his arms will disappear in the blink of an eye. Mr. Lin pats Lin Luoran's undulating back with his palm. Time seems to have never passed. In his arms, the little girl is still willing to sleep only when patted on the back. Ran. Ran has never liked to cry since she was a child. Now she must know that she is wrong. It is better not to beat her. Mr. Lin gently touches his daughter's back. His eyes are full of tears unconsciously. Tears fall on Lin Luoran's neck. The heat makes Lin Luoran shiver. Her suppressed sobs finally turn into loud crying. Dad. Parents can't travel far. There is no way to have everything in the world. She is too greedy, so her family is separated. When she wakes up in the spirit mountain overseas, the sea has changed. Regret can't change what has happened. She chooses interstellar travel in confusion. She hears the message left by the crazy Taoist with hope. She even gets the exact news but can't leave immediately because the earth is being rebuilt. She can't miss her parents because she is busy. However, she feels shy when she is close to her hometown when she is in the world of cultivation. Chapter 562. Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran lose control of their emotions for a long time. Mu Tiannan knows that Lin Luoran misses Lin Luoran so much. He waits until Lin Luoran completely releases her emotions. He asks other members of the Lin family and the whereabouts of Grandpa Mu. Although the Mu family suffered a great loss in the battle to defend the earth, Mu Tiannan remembers that Grandpa Mu and several other cousins are still there when they parted at the Tower of Babel. They are the descendants that Grandpa Mu saved for the Mu family in the cruel war. Old Man Gubu is still called Qin Xiaojiu in his old age. Seeing that the criminal he suspected before is the beloved daughter of Lin Luoran, he has been serving tea attentively, trying to change the impression left in the hearts of Lin and Mu. Hearing Mu Tiannan's question, Lin Luoran's father wipes his tears and points at Qin Xiaojiu. Go and inform the Mu family that their third son is back. Mu Tiannan waves his hand. I will go with him. Uncle Lin and Luoran have been separated for a long time. They should have a good reunion. Leaving Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran alone, Mu Tiannan goes out with Qin Xiaojiu to find the Mu family. Lin Luoran calms down after crying. Looking at Qin Xiaojiu's back, she wonders, who is he? He is a descendant of the Qin family. Qin Yan refused to leave the earth with us, and only asked us to take his son and daughter. His son and daughter didn't have the Taoist root. After settling down, they got married and had children. Now there are several generations, but no descendants with the Taoist root can cultivate. Qin Xiaojiu is the 6th-generation grandson of Qin Yan. It is really lucky for mortals to have descendants with the Taoist root when they marry each other. For example, Rong Sini of the Rong family who stayed on the earth didn't appear until now. A happy and peaceful life is no worse than cultivation. It depends on fate. Mr. Lin nods. Lin Luoran has become more sensible after hundreds of years. Lin Luoran doesn't mention that she can build the Taoist root. She directs the topic to others. Mr. Lin has a lot to say, so he tells her slowly. When they came to this world through the Tower of Babel, the Lin family certainly landed on the same star. Although there were many ordinary people with them, they soon adapted to the new world. When the news of the single Taoist root of 5 elements is leaked, and then when Guanjing have totally different experiences, and Li Shier's school is in decline, how can it protect Li Shi? Or when it is destroyed in the battle to defend the earth? Li Shi'er had planned to leave the sect herself and then join a major sect to ensure everyone's safety. Luodong and Cui Wanlu are both disciples of Lin's school. Since they consider Lin Luoran as their family, they are destined to stay in Chao's camp for the rest of their lives. Luodong and Cui Wanlu are happy to pretend that they are not the main disciples of the big schools. Therefore, the 3 of them reach a consensus. However, their unanimous decision to side with a certain sect had angered the other sections. With the philosophy of destroying everything they couldn't get, they were prepared to kill them all to prevent the other sects from benefiting them. Lin Luoran and her family are cultivators and ordinary people. They can't even hide with the disciples of the Qingqing Taoist temple, like Huizhu did. The other sects are not united. Some want to kill them to avoid future troubles, some want to take the opportunity to win them over. And they follow the crazy Taoists' advice to leave ordinary people in the mortal world. Otherwise, they would never be able to survive until when Guanjing asks for help from Sword School. Things are getting out of hand. Although Sword School wants to recruit all three of them, it is not up to Sword School alone to decide 1 school, 2 schools, and 3 schools. Sword School mediates and teaches the 3 to join different schools separately. Everyone will be happy. At this time, many people have been injured or killed, and the debt of blood can't be paid. How can Lin Luodong and the others join their enemy's school? In particular, Li Shi only has a few disciples left in her school. Her situation is only slightly better than Anne's. Hiding for decades, Sword School is also under great pressure. When Guanjing has become an heir disciple of Sword School at that time, he begs the school master to protect them. The school master feels that this talented disciple is a debt collector. However, he can't really ignore the opinion of his chosen successor. After a secret talk with Wen Guanjing, the school master gives him a way out. Enter the backup planet of Sword School, and never show up in the world of cultivation again before he has enough power. The younger generation needs time to grow. Without power, it is the worst choice to rely on others. The crazy Taoist agrees, and no one dares to disagree. Urged by the debt collector, the schoolmaster of Sword School also wants to make friends with them. He teleports them away in batches. To the outside world, they put on a good show that Sword School kindly helps them, but the ungrateful wolf steals the treasure and runs away. They completely disappear under the nose of 1 school, 2 schools, and 3 schools. Prophet God School may know about it, but Prophet God School rarely meddles in other people's business. As for those who don't expose it, other schools can't fall out with Sword School just because of suspicion. When things gradually die down, when Guanjing finds the relatives of the cultivators who stayed on other planets, most of them already have families and descendants there. After they are all sent to the backup planet of Sword School, when Guanjing of Sword School and an of Prophet God School among the 5 elements Taoist root gradually become famous, which makes other schools feel very regretful. When they want to find the remaining 3 cultivators with single Taoist root, the cultivators from the earth have already settled on the nameless planet. How can they find them? The nameless planet is the retreat of Sword School for many years. When Guanjing is not being modest when he says that the conditions there are not good. When the Lin family first came, the conditions there were really not good. There were poisonous miasma everywhere, monsters everywhere, and natives who were as strong as bulls that they couldn't communicate with. It was all thanks to the defensive magic circle set up by the crazy Taoist that they had a base to retreat to. Little by little, they built up the leisurely Taoyuan town. Taoist Jiang has done so much for us. Fortunately, after settling down, Taoist Jiang made rapid progress. She successfully passed the divinization doom more than 20 years ago, and ascended to the spiritual world. The crazy Taoist was already in the bearing essence period when he was on the earth. The reason why he couldn't break through was that he couldn't solve the knot in his heart. After he came to the world of cultivation, it took him another 400 years to pass the gathering vitality period and divinization doom in such a rich Reiki. Considering his aptitude, isn't it considered slow? Mr. Lin is right. The crazy Taoist is indeed burdened by everyone, but Lin Luoran feels a little pity. If she had arrived more than 20 years earlier, Baojia would have been able to see the crazy Taoist again. Mr. Lin comforts her. Before the doom, Taoist Jiang said that once you came, Baojia would definitely be with you. He asked you not to slack off on your cultivation, and to reunite in the spiritual world as soon as possible. Lin Luoran nods. It is a good thing that the crazy Taoist ascends. However, he owes a lot of karma. In addition to Baojia who wants to see him, the acacia tree monster Voidy, and the Shisandra fruit Yang Lisha, may also have something to settle with the crazy Taoist. He ascends at the right time. Mr. Lin's tone changes and he suddenly hesitates. Luodong and Wanlu have both succeeded in bearing vitality. Shi-Er's personal ability is even higher than theirs. Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian are both fine. Your father is useless. He has been taken care of by your disciples all these years. As for your mother, she passed away a few years after she came to the world of cultivation. Mr. Lin's eyes are full of tears again. The difference between immortals and mortals has caused the couple to be separated from their only daughter for hundreds of years. His wife didn't even have the chance to see her daughter for the last time. These are not things he can solve. The most useless thing is the first few years after they came to the world of cultivation. Their life in hiding was really not good. Although Mrs. Lin took various elixirs made by Yuan Yi to prolong her life, she was still 100 years old, and her mortal body couldn't stand the torment. She passed away when they were exhausted. If it were not for the fact that he couldn't see his daughter, Mr. Lin wouldn't have survived until now. Even with the belief that he wants to see his daughter again, Mr. Lin is still getting old after the crazy Taoist descends more than 20 years ago. Lin Luoren holds Mr. Lin's hand. The Taoist root of 3 natures is not a good qualification, but she doesn't believe that Mr. Lin can't bear vitality in 400 years with the resources provided by the disciples of the Lin family. Now he is old because 500 years of a bearing essence cultivator's life is coming to an end. Mr. Lin has a knot in his heart. After Mrs. Lin's death, he has lost the attitude of making progress in personal ability enhancement. He is supported by a belief. As time goes by, the days are getting darker. Mrs. Lin is not Mutiannan. She has been ready for this when Lin Luoren returns from Penglai and knows that time flies. However, she is still too sad to speak when she hears that Mr. Lin's mother has passed away. She wants to cry, but her eyes are very dry as if she has just shed tears. Dad, in fact, I found Mount Penglai and learned the way to build the Taoist route for mortals. When I came back excitedly, it was already the 305th year of the new calendar on the earth. And you were all gone. Lin Luoren murmurs to herself. Mr. Lin hugs her dearly. Both father and daughter are silent. Fate makes fools of people. Some things are really destined. The more you want to hold on to them, the faster it will slip away. If she didn't insist on looking for Mount Penglai, the 3 of them could have lived together for decades. However, she was greedy and wanted to keep everyone, but she was separated from her family and friends for hundreds of years. Lin Luoren closes her eyes. It is the biggest regret of her life that she didn't see her mother for the last time. Dad, I want to visit the grave. Mr. Lin naturally agrees. Mrs. Lin's grave is in the east of Taoyuan town. It is shaded by pines and cypresses. Mrs. Lin is not the only one buried here. When Lin Luoren and Lin Luoren arrive, they see Mu Tiannan supporting Grandpa Mu, and other members of the Mu family are also there. This is not a good place to catch up. Grandpa Mu just nods to them as a greeting. After Mrs. Lin's death, the Lin family is still in danger. There is no way to buy a treasure coffin that can keep Cui Wanlu's body from decaying for thousands of years. Cui Wanlu uses the spell of turning water and ice all the way to protect Mrs. Lin's body. No one suggested cremation. When the sword school came to rescue, when Guanjing found a set of rune circles to keep Mrs. Lin's body in the ice coffin. Through the ice, Mrs. Lin seems to be asleep. Lin Luoren touches the coffin cover. If Yi Zhao had found the ice for White Fairy to seal the time, Mrs. Lin would have a chance to live. If time could go back. If time could go back, what would you do? A man's voice suddenly interrupts Lin Luoren and makes her raise her head. A man with a plain face and long hair hanging behind his head in a simple robe appears under the pine and cypress tree. He is looking at her quietly. A robe. The robe suddenly appears in front of her. Lin Luoren doesn't expect to see him again. However, he appears suddenly every time, and this time is no exception. Hearing Lin Luoren's sudden shout, Mr. Lin feels strange. Who are you calling? Liao and Huji remind Mu Tiannan. The word robe is no different from a special warning word for him. However, he follows Lin Luoren's eyes. There are only pine and cypress trees swaying gently in the breeze. Where is he? Lin Luoren stands up and takes 2 steps. She has mixed feelings. Can't they see you? Do you want them to see me? Lin Luoren nods. The robe understands. The next moment, everyone sees a figure under the pine and cypress tree. Mu Tiannan's eyes are wide open. The robe seems to be a little embarrassed. You have seen her. Can you leave? I have something to say to her. The robe's tone is very soft, but no one can refuse him. Mr. Lin hesitantly looks at his daughter. Mr. Mu is so shrewd that he has already asked the Mu family to leave. Only Mu Tiannan is reluctant to leave, which makes the robe look at him from the corner of his eyes. It's not easy for you to get to where you are today. You should cherish it. Mu Tiannan is shocked. He learned the art from the primitive monster Black Shadow Venerable, the old bat monster. However, the man in front of him suppressed the old bat under the magnetic mountain, and deprived him of the qualification for personal ability enhancement of the vampire bat family. However, he can't back down now. Lin Luoran grits her teeth. Can we talk somewhere else? She doesn't want Mu Tiannan to have a conflict with the robe. If Mu Tiannan gets angry, he will have no chance of winning. Besides, she subconsciously doesn't want to make the robe angry. The robe nods. Lin Luoran only has time to give Mu Tiannan an apologetic look. Then she disappears with the robe. Mu Tiannan punches the tree hard, and the pine and cypress tree are broken. A few lights suddenly flash near the cemetery. Liao appears in the open space with White Fairy and others. Liao's spiritual mind sweeps the entire Taoyuan town in an instant. He grabs Mu Tiannan and asks, "Where is Linny?" "He is here." Mu Tiannan only says 3 words, but it is enough to make Liao angry. "You idiot." Liao is exasperated. After receiving the message from the sword school, they come all the way to the Wuxia star. One Guanjing says that Lin Luoran has just arrived and her mother has already passed away. Liao guessed that the man will definitely appear at this time. However, he is still 1 step late. He takes out a purple bell from his arms and crushes it. Liao also disappears instantly. Mu Tiannan wants to chase after him, but White Fairy stops him. "Let Linny solve it. You can't help it even if you go." The most important thing is that when White Fairy trapped the Black Shadow Venerable in the illusion, she saw the man in robe make a move. With a casual point of his finger, the bat monster turned into dust. Who can stop such a man if he wants to do something? Mu Tiannan tries his best to calm down, but in fact he is losing his soul. White Fairy sighs. It is thousands of times more difficult for Mu Tiannan to be with Linny than for her to go to the spiritual world to find Yi Zhao. "You haven't answered me yet. If you can go back in time, what would you do?" The man in robe takes Lin Luoran to a floating cloud. From above, she can overlook a small part of the nameless star. Lin Luoran stares at a certain direction under the clouds absent-mindedly. Who can go back in time? The man in robe looks in the same direction as Lin Luoran. The scenery of the barren planet is nothing special. He doesn't know what Lin Luoran is looking at, but he still answers Lin Luoran's words. "You don't have to rely on anyone. You can do it yourself. Do you remember the star atlas in your hand? You once went back more than 2,000 years ago through it." Lin Luoran is shocked. She looks up at the man in robe. His expression is calm, but he doesn't seem to be joking. "I feel that you seem to be different from before." The man in robe chuckles. "The past you remember probably refers to the incarnation I left in the sacred pearl. It is just an incarnation, so it is naturally different from the original person. Just like what he remembers, the incarnation is also different from the person in front of him." Lin Luoran stares at his expression and says word by word, "I thought I went back to ancient Babylon with the Tower of Babel." The man in robe can't help laughing. The Tower of Babel and the Star Atlas are both mediums. What's the difference in reality? There are countless intersecting planes of time and space in the universe. You can go to any time and place if you find the node where they intersect. Lin Luoran holds her breath. "Can I go back to the node where my mother was alive and I didn't go to the Penglai immortal world?" The man in robe stops smiling. "Before you make a choice, let me show you something first." He touches the blue sky in front of him with his hand. The scenery in front of Lin Luoran has changed greatly. The blazing star and the 8 planets around it are the solar system where the Earth is located. If the clock goes back before Lin Luoran went to Mount Penglai, Lin Luoran sees her family persuading her to give up the idea and stay with Mrs. Lin and Mr. Lin. Several apprentices are sitting in front of them. The atmosphere of the whole Lin family is very harmonious and happy. The first apprentice is successful in making elixirs. The second apprentice is obsessed with swordsmanship. Luodong continues to study until he gets a doctorate after college, and marries Wei Shui, who is immortal. Cui Wanlu is sad. After fighting with Luodong, Huang Weijian goes out to practice and never comes back. Life is smooth and beautiful. Later, Wuxia announces the interstellar travel plan. The invasion of the Alpha Alliance comes as scheduled. Lin Luoran is only in the bearing essence period. She doesn't play a big role in the war. After the war breaks out, people Lin Luoran is familiar with die one after another, including Mu Tiannan, who doesn't practice the arts of monsters. When the crazy Taoist proposes to open the shelter of gods, the earth is still in a state of devastation. Baojia is sleeping in the yin-yang moat circle. Lu Zheng chooses to stay and wait for Baojia to wake up. Lin Luoran takes everyone away. The situation of the earth is getting worse day by day. The Reiki of the soul wood is finally taken away by the dead. Baojia has been sleeping and she doesn't wake up even when her life is exhausted. Without Lin Luoran to complete the 5 elements, the earth becomes barren and people on the earth completely abandon the mother planet. The blue planet is so full of the Reiki of death that even mutant monsters can't survive. After a few years, the planet withers from the inside until one day it is weathered and decomposes into a pile of gravel belts revolving around the sun. The pictures brought by the man in robe are so real that Lin Luoran seems to have experienced them herself. After all the pictures disappear for a long time, Lin Luoran's cheeks are cold. If I hadn't gone to Punglai, would these have happened? Yes. Time and space are full of variables. Everyone's choices have the opportunity to affect the future unconsciously. The only difference is that some influences are subtle and some are obvious. Lin Luoran apatheized herself and participated in the reconstruction of the earth. She has never thought of herself as a savior. Everything is just a coincidence. Time makes the hero. She didn't expect that she would play such an important role. Thinking of Mu Tiannan Baojia, and even the blue planet that will eventually wither completely, something is so heavy that she can't breathe. However, since I can travel back to Babylon through time and space, with my current personal ability, if I go back to the time before the catastrophe, will everything be solved? To Lin Luoran's disappointment, the man in robe shakes his head and asks, "Is there another you in the time and space of ancient Babylon? Two you can't exist at the same time in the same time and space. It's okay to be a time traveler. However, once you try to go back to the past to change the known future about yourself, you will inevitably pay the same price. The you before the catastrophe will disappear. If your mother survives successfully, maybe your father will die accidentally. Tao of nature is very fair. Just like the person beside you who practices the bloodbath method. He was originally a mortal with no wife and children at the age of 80. He cultivated as a monster with the body of a human. In order to adjust the disorder after the change of fate, Tao of nature let another disciple of the Mu family, who may have made great achievements, die. This is the consequence of him being protected by the merits because he contributed to the reconstruction of the earth. Lin Luoran takes 2 steps back. Another disciple of the Mu family who may have made great achievements? Is he talking about the 6th disciple of the Mu family? What about you? I know you are very powerful. There was no another you before the catastrophe. If you took action, would you have been able to stop everything that happened? She knows that her request is extremely unreasonable, but Lin Luoran knows subconsciously that no matter how willful she is, the man in robe will not refuse her request. Sure enough, after hearing this, the smile on the man in robe's face freezes for a moment. After a while, the corner of his mouth rises slightly. If this is what you want, then as you wish. The man in robe steps forward and grabs Lin Luoran's hand. Hold me tight. Lin Luoran feels that everything is so unreal, like a dream. The palm of the man in robe is very warm. At the moment when the 2 hands hold each other's hands, images come to her mind like a tide. A long time ago, she held the same pair of hands and walked all over the Chichuan swamp. He taught her personal ability, and the 2 accompanied each other day and night. Her biggest dream was that he could walk slower, and she wanted to walk faster and faster to catch up with his unattainable figure. She saw the lonely little girl in her childhood. She saw the little girl entered the school of training Qi, but the whole family was slaughtered by the monster bat. The only surviving school brother faced the threat of the monster bat. He couldn't bear to see the little girl being killed, so he closed his eyes in despair. When the hand of the monster bat falls, the little girl is not torn into pieces like the previous school brothers. A man picks her up. He is the god, who falls from the sky. She watches him leave after killing the blood bats. It is she who runs after him with her broken legs. She follows him all the way and finally succeeds in staying with him. This kind of chase has lasted for a long time. It has quietly changed during the day and night. She begins to ask for more. However, there are some things that even he can't give her. She has the emotions of mortals, but he has lost something in his long and lonely infinite life. He said that no matter who it is, two people can't be together forever. Just like the earth under their feet. No matter how many powerful chi trainers and monsters it has bred, it will still die one day. At that time, she was stubborn and refused to admit defeat. Besides, she was tired of chasing after him for a long time. She made a desperate bet with him. You don't care about it, but it is the planet where I was born. Even if the gods and Buddhas don't care about this dust, I will save it. If I succeed, you are not allowed to mention that two people can't be together forever. Let's make a deal. Give me a chance, okay? He knows that he has spoiled the little girl. Once she decides to do something, she will do it silently, no matter what method she uses. However, if you want to change the fixed fate of the star, even with my help to deceive the Tao of nature, you have to pay the price. You will be reincarnated. Are you willing to do so? Yes. She is as stubborn as ever. When she raises her face, she is still the same as when she was a child and refused to admit defeat to the monster bat. The man in robe agrees and gives her the sacred pearl space. She dispels her personal ability and enters reincarnation. The picture ends abruptly. Lin Luoran stands speechless on the cloud. The stubborn little girl is reluctant to give up the planet where she was born and the man in robe. Therefore, she pays the price of reincarnation and finally changes the fate of the blue star. She staggered and stumbled, but in the end, she fulfilled the promise she made back then. Even he, who was high and mighty, was touched. He came from the Xiaoya world and prepared to fulfill the covenant from 10,000 years ago. He wanted to give her a chance and also give himself a chance. If the source of everything is the covenant between Momo and the man in robe, then who is Lin Luoran? It takes time for all the memories of the previous life to pour in. The man in robe doesn't urge her. He just accompanies her quietly, just like how they got along 10,000 years ago. Purple light flashes in front of the cloud, and Liao's figure suddenly appears. His heart that almost jumps to his throat falls back to its original place. He doesn't waste a rare treasure in vain. He finally catches up with her. The man in robe's expression remains unchanged. He looks at Liao for a while, and then seems to remember who he is. You shouldn't stay in this world. Liao's eyes are gloomy. I am not like you. You have cultivated the supreme indifference. That silly girl has been with you for so many years in vain. You actually have the heart to watch her suffer the pain of reincarnation at the cost of her life. Liao's accusation makes the man in robe feel unhappy. This is very rare. If Momo didn't think highly of Liao, he might not be able to help but want to attack Liao. Does he actually regret Momo's decision in the past? The man in robe feels that there is an abnormal fluctuation in his state of mind. The silly girl was in so much pain for you back then. Since you are unwilling to respond to her, why do you show up now? Her life is not a pawn in your hands. She should always have the chance to choose for herself. The man in front of him is obviously his savior, but Liao doesn't like him very much. No matter how many good things the man in robe has done, Liao knows that he actually has no heart. There is nothing in the world that the man in robe cares about. No matter how sincere you are and how much you pay, you can't make him stop for you and respond to you with the same passion. For him, the earth is the cradle for cultivating heirs. He can abandon it casually. If it weren't for the silly girl, he would have forgotten who the master of blue waves is a long time ago. Whether it is the master of blue waves, the bat monster, the alien girl Jingnan, or all living beings in the primitive world, they are all passers-by in the man in robe's long life. Lao Ai was just a slightly different passerby that he had raised himself. The man in robe ignores Liao's indignation. He confirms with certainty. It turns out that you want her to forget who she is. Naturally, she will forget me. You are even willing to let her forget who you are. But it is too late. After the man in robe finishes speaking, Lin Luoran raises her head with tears on her face. School fellow apprentice. Liao's indignation turns into undisguised grief. He only feels that everything goes black in front of him. His body is unstable, and he almost falls down from the clouds. Lin Luoran has a different face. Seeing her face full of tears, the man in robe suddenly feels a thorn in his heart. He can't help but soften his expression. He says in an unusually gentle tone. Chapter 563. Many years later, when Mu Tiannan recalls those 3 days, he is always in a gloomy and desperate mood. Liao once said that he doesn't know where the man in robe comes from. The man has an ordinary face and always has a gentle smile on his face. His face seems to be covered with mist, and people will forget it in a blink of an eye. No one knows his name, but he is absolutely powerful. Even the cultivators on the earth started to train qi and breathe because of him. He is a man who enlightens the primitive world. People can't even think of being his enemy. Before she was called Lin Luoran, the time she spent with the man in robe is countless times longer than the hundreds of years since he met Lin Luoran. What's more, he and Lin Luoran have only been together for 100 years. In this mood, Lin Luoran comes back 3 days later, and the man in robe also comes back with her. Mu Tiannan is keenly aware of Lin Luoran's change. Her face is still the same, but something has changed. She looks different from the Lin Luoran he is familiar with. However, Liao doesn't come back. Facing the doubts in everyone's eyes, Lin Luoran only has time to say, "I will explain later." Then she takes Mr. Lin to the cemetery like a gust of wind. With the presence of the man in robe, people are smart enough not to go forward and watch. The man in robe opens the road of yin and yang in front of Lin Luoran and her father. They see Mrs. Lin, who has been dead for many years, but is still wandering in the netherworld and stubbornly refuses to be reincarnated. It is not difficult for the man in robe to help Mrs. Lin come back to life. What is difficult is the blood relationship between Mrs. Lin and Lin Luoran. Since Lin Luoran helped the earth rebuild the 5 elements, she has been stained with too much karma. She is a person who is completely exposed to the Tao of nature. The man in robe can suppress her from going through divinization doom. So a little karma is nothing to him. However, if Mrs. Lin comes back to life, Heaven's doom won't punish the man in robe, but Lin Luoran has nowhere to escape. She can have merits to offset it, but her relatives around her will encounter unexpected disasters. For example, if Mu Tiannan changed his own fate, the Mu family would have to add Mu Xiaolu into the Mu family. The way of heaven is fair. There will not be 2 opposite situations where some people have a particularly sad life, and some people have a smooth and perfect life. All living beings are unable to escape from happiness and sorrow. If one only laughs without tears, how can one show how precious happiness is? People with hard lives also had joy in their lives. The difference was that some people discovered that they could find joy in hardship, while others gave up on themselves and were unable to recover. Blaming the heavens and worrying about others and seeking joy in the midst of suffering were seen by the heavenly Tao. The latter's positive attitude could not only change one's fate bit by bit, but it could also leave a legacy for the next life. Mrs. Lin sees her daughter again and gets rid of her obsession. It's time for her to enter samsara again. Mr. Lin wants to say something but stops on second thought. He doesn't want to leave his daughter, but he also can't bear to see his wife alone. The man in robe thinks for a while and tells Mr. Lin, "You are husband and wife for 10 generations. You can focus on your cultivation, and you will understand in the future." Watching the passage between the 2 worlds gradually close, Lin Luoran asks in a low voice, "Will she remember me in her next life?" The man in robe smiled. "It's not difficult to make her remember her past life. That's your choice." Lin Luoran is silent. The man in robe is not entirely right. It should be Mrs. Lin's choice. Just like her, if she doesn't remember her past life, she won't be in a dilemma now. She has all the memories of Momo. In a sense, she is Momo. Even a long time ago, she saw a fragment of the man in robe. Before she understood her life, the heartbeat frequency had shown the feeling of her soul to the man in front of her. But if she does Momo, what will happen to the hundreds of years of Lin Luoran's life? Lin Luoran has blood-related parents, people she used to like, close friends, apprentices, enemies. Everything is real. Lin Luoran, her life and emotions can't be used to make a movie. It can't be stopped abruptly when the drama ends. Are you going to take me away? Lin Luoran lowers her voice. The man in robe thinks for a while. No. If you want, I can stay. He has been walking alone for too long. The long loneliness makes him forget what stopping is. However, if he has Momo to accompany him, he is willing to stop and have a try to give each other a chance. Lin Luoran is silent for a long time. When the man in robe thinks she has acquiesced to his choice, she bites her lower lip and says, "The last question. The person you want to stop for, is it just Momo or Lin Luoran?" The man in robe laughs. "What's the difference? You are just Momo." Lin Luoran shakes her head disappointedly. "You can go." The man in robe is willing to stop for her after 10,000 years. In fact, he still doesn't understand the feelings of mortals. Momo is her, and Lin Luoran is also her. Lin Luoran still has a violent heartbeat when she faces the man in robe. However, time changes. After being reborn, she has a completely different personality, experience and emotion from Momo. The man in front of her may accompany Momo to grow up, but he is missing in the life of Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran already has the happiness that she can easily get. Family affection that she didn't have before, friendship that is as precious as before, and love that she can't get. She doesn't want to spend tens of thousands of years chasing a dreamer, who is destined to never really belong to anyone. The thorn in her heart begins to move again. The man in robe wants to reach out to cover his chest because of the pain. How many years has it been since I felt this strange pain for no reason? The man in robe feels that something in his body comes to life and then dies quickly. He suddenly understands Momo's feelings in the past, because of the covenant that she refuses to fulfill. Once you miss someone, she won't change and reappear in front of you just like the old days. The man in robe leaves, and Liao doesn't come back either. Lin Luoran stays alone on the top of the mountain outside Taiyuan town for a few days. Encouraged by others, Mu Tiannan also flies up. He can see the confusion and sadness on Lin Luoran's face, but he doesn't understand why she still refuses that man since she is so sad. In fact, it can be a win-win situation, right? If that man is willing to stay for Lin Luoran, she can still live with her family and friends without having to make a choice. She just needs him to leave quietly. Why do you stay? Mu Tiannan wants to ask several times, but his throat seems to be blocked by an iron ball. Several white lights come from a distance. Those familiar people land on the top of the mountain one by one. Most of the sunlight above their heads is blocked. They are Gold Hawk that has almost fully grown. Sister, Lin Luodong, who is no longer immature, and Huang Weijian, who is holding a bald pen, shout at the same time. Hundreds of years have passed, so what? No matter how high their personal ability is, the woman in front of them is still the one who taught them. They have known countless people for hundreds of years, but there is only one sister. The bundling rope on Li Shier's wrist is still there. After advancing to gathering vitality, this magic weapon is very useless, but she still carries it with her all the time because it is the best magic weapon her school can offer. Hundreds of years have passed, and she is no longer the naive girl. She has seen the merciless killing and the deception of the world of cultivation. The time she spent in the Lin family when she was young is more and more precious. The Lin family is not related to her, and Sister Lin's personal ability is higher than hers. She is really nice to her. Li Shier's eyes are full of tears. After seeing the ruthlessness of the world, the noisy and crying Li Shier has already died. She hasn't cried for a long time. Why can't she help crying when she sees Sister Lin? Sister Lin, I miss you so much. Li Shier is choking with sobs. Lin feels that the gap caused by the time distance is gone in an instant. Lin goes forward and hugs Li Shier, letting her cry until her clothes are all wet. Luodong is her younger brother, and she has always regarded Li Shier as her younger sister. When Li Shier is done crying, Zheng Tian, Yuan Yi and Cui Wanlu, who who have been waiting for a long time, kneel down and kowtow together. Disciple greets master. Zheng Tian and Yuan Ye's Taoist root is not very good. They can cultivate to the late-bearing essence only because the breathing method they practice is orthodox. Seeing that Zheng Tian and Yuan Yi are both middle-aged, Lin Luoren hurries to help them up. The female cultivator of gathering vitality, whose face is like a peach blossom, looks like an old friend. Lin Luoren almost can't recognize the naughty Lucy when they meet again. Lin Luoren is full of guilt when she thinks about the hard work of her apprentices, especially Cui Wanlu, who doesn't get much guidance from her. I am a nominal grandmaster. I am so irresponsible. Zheng Tian wipes away his tears and smiles. That's right. Grandmaster, if you didn't come back to preside over the wedding, school Aunt Li would have been an old woman. Li Shi'er spits on him calmly. Yuan Yi, who has been tempered for hundreds of years, blushes like a monkey's butt. Lin Luoren can't help worrying about Yuan Ye's EQ. Lin Luoren can't help but worry about Yuan Ye's EQ. Yuan Yi is not stupid. Why can't he understand? Master. Goldie, who has been ignored for a long time, squeezes forward with a pitiful look. Lin Luoren is shocked by the girl's cold voice. The domineering Goldie was actually a girl. How come you are a girl? Goldie says this unconsciously. Lin Luoren blows away Goldie's excitement. It has missed its master for hundreds of years, but she doesn't know its gender. Goldie is upset because of the collapse of its worldview. Lin Luoren coughs and touches the crown on its head to comfort it. At that time, she communicated with Goldie only with her spiritual mind. She never thought that it could be her. Compared with the arrogant fox, Goldie is so domineering. Thinking of the monster elemental bead entrusted to her by the golden hawk in the Lost Land, Lin Luoren is looking forward to the effect after Goldie absorbs it. Perhaps he would be able to go from human speech to the realm of shape-shifting? Don't be angry, Goldie. I will give you something later. Lin Luoren comforts Goldie. The hawk is still chattering. I felt it as soon as you came here. They didn't believe me. Later, an old man appeared and didn't let us come back to you immediately. Huang Weijian feels very awkward. That old man is his grandfather who left him to the Lin family when he was 12 years old and disappeared for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years later, the old man appeared mysteriously. As soon as he came back, he took his hand and said that he was leaving. He asked Huang to cultivate hard and reunite with his grandson as soon as possible, and not to miss him too much. In fact, Huang Weijian wants to swear. Compared with the irresponsible, bastard grandfather, who asked him to pick up garbage for a living, he actually misses the gentle sister Lin more. Huang Weijian, who has a poker face, doesn't want to admit that he is actually happy when he sees the bastard grandfather who abandoned him. Surrounded by her apprentices and friends, Lin Luoren has no time to cherish the sadness of the departure of the man in robe. A group of cultivators is coming back from afar. They are also old acquaintances whom Lin Luoren knows, but doesn't have a deep relationship with, such as Yi Xiaobei, who got the ancient book of monsters of wood in the Tower of Babel, and Chu Yi, who used to live in the Lin family a long time ago. Lin Luoren says hello to them, and they go back to the Taoyuan town together. In the past hundreds of years, some people have left, but more people have stayed. Cultivation is to see more scenery. Lin Luoren has never forgotten her original intention. However, she is luckier than others. She has so many companions on the road of cultivation, which is supposed to be lonely. After walking for a while, she feels that something is missing. She turns around and sees Mu Tiannan standing in the same place, surrounded by a forgotten coldness. Brother Mu, if you don't hurry up, you will fall behind again. Momo used to chase after the man in robe. It was a long time with mixed feelings. The man in robe is looking for Momo, not Lin Luoren, who has changed after reincarnation. Momo used to chase after the man in robe, so she knows how humble, hard and hard it is for the one who is at a disadvantage to be together from two completely different countries. Momo is to the man in robe, and Mu Tiannan, who has no Taoist root, is to Lin Luoren. Mu Tiannan likes Lin Luoren only because of Lin Luoren, not because he is moved. She has her own pride. The man in robe is finally touched, but Momo has been tired and changed. There is a higher and farther sky above divinization. They still have a long way to go, don't they? So, Brother Mu, you must not fall behind. There is no perfect method in the world. I only hope that I don't betray the Buddha and you. The new book, Talisman Master in the Magic World, that you're tuning in to the Limei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.